What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another video. Now this video is speaking to the farmers, how a lot of white farmers are facing bankruptcy after this mass deportation. So I want to play a little bit of what a couple of people had to say, and I definitely want you guys to chime in. Make sure you chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video. Make sure y'all let me know. Here we go.
Well, the latest blow to farmers, specifically farmers in Kansas, is going to be wheat. Wheat. When Doge and Trump killed the program that sent 4 billion people in 150 countries around the world, 80% of farmers in this area voted for Trump. The projected agricultural deficit, you heard me, deficit, from the USDA predicted for 2025, including wheat, is $49.5 billion deficit to agriculture. This includes farming and cattle ranching. Why did these farmers vote Republican? Did you know that Trump did the same thing to them in his first term? Tariffs are a tax paid by the person who brings it in and then passed on to the consumer. If the other country puts a reciprocal tariff on us, that costs us money. Tariffs are a disaster.
Now, what's your thoughts on that? I want to hear your thoughts on it. Please chime in the comments, you guys. Once again, it goes back to the question that she asked. Did they know this was going to happen? It's almost as if they didn't think of it, or they just voted the way they wanted to vote, thinking that it would not happen. And now it's causing them to face bankruptcy, lose money because they're not able to run their farms proficiently because they don't have the labor to do so. What is going to be the solution or the fix to this, and how long is it going to take? Because as long as this is happening, they're consistently losing money. Now, does it boil down to the fact that they're not getting the free labor, or is it because it costs more for them to hire people that they have to pay more, or what, like what's the fix to this? Because I'm pretty sure they're, running out of resources, or they, and they're losing money because they're not able to farm at the level they were used to farming at because they don't have the help. So what do? Are there enough legal immigrants to do the jobs? That's my question too. Were there so many illegal immigrants doing the work for dirt cheap, to the point where you can't find people in the country that are legal to do the work? That's just a question I had as well. Is that the problem? You can't find people that you can pay decent wages to do the work, or are they not experienced enough, or is it just about the money that you're paying them and you can't afford to do that? I don't know. Y'all let me know, but let's continue.
55%. That's the rate that American farmers have been declaring bankruptcy. Wow. Over and above last year.
Dang.
55% more bankruptcies of American farmers. And it's the conditions, the economic conditions that are contributing to it. A lack of a workforce, a lack of labor, tariffs, the whole 9 yards. Everything this administration has done is contributing to these people losing everything. They're losing the farm, right? So why is this important? Why should you care? Well, what happens when a family declares bankruptcy is that their property is sold in a sheriff's auction to satisfy creditors. And so they lose their property. It's fire sailed. And, if they've got a $1 million loan on the 1,000 acres they got, and they get $500,000 for the property, well, they're on the hook for another $500,000. We're talking about generations that have farmed land, that have been farmers their entire lives, losing everything because they can't sell a product overseas. Most of our corn and grain is sold to other countries, and the tariffs are making it more expensive than other options. So they can't sell what they've farmed. So what's the end run here? Why is this happening? Well, my speculation is that there's large, massive farming operations out there. Very large corporations that have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of acres. For example, the King Ranch. And 25 years ago, they had 1 million acres and several 100,000 head of cattle. And they're looking to expand. So how do you expand cheaply? Well, what you do is you get somebody to pass legislation that's going to make family farms file bankruptcy. And then instead of giving them fair market value for it, you can just buy the land in foreclosure. So, well, out of bankruptcy. So that's the end run here. That's what all these policies are doing, is simply gutting family farmers to allow corporations to get farmland cheaply.
Okay, so I think I get it too. I think I get what he's saying. So they're almost, in a sense, trying to push out family farmers to sell to the bigger corporations so that they can take over and mass produce, the things that are needed because they have the resources to do so. So it's almost like pushing family farmers out. And they're taking over. And then also too, this makes me think about the black farmers, because it's sad that we got to say white farmers and black farmers, but the black farmers were having a hard time. A lot of the black farmers were not getting the subsidies that the white farmers were getting. Let's make that clear too. A lot of the subsidies that the mid-sized white farmers were getting, the black ones didn't get. And a lot of the black farmers are still able to operate, from what I'm gathering, because they never depended on subsidies from the government or even migrant workers. So they're still able to work because they're working at a level that they've always been used to working at. But it's unfortunate that a lot of the white farmers are having a hard time because look like they're being pushed out. Like this is all set up to move them out of the way, force them to file bankruptcy, lose their farms, and then they can come in and buy them at cheaper prices, the big corporations, and create a situation where they're able to, use machines or whatever they're going to use to mass produce the products and get them on out the way. That's crazy, but child, let's continue.
It's a shame. It's sad. It's shameful. But that's what this administration is going for, line the pockets of the big corporations, the big farmers, and chef us.
A lot of people may have missed it, but have y'all seen this? So first, let me describe what you're seeing. What you are seeing is a protest by Maine farmers. These are people, by and large, who voted for and supported Donald Trump. While Kamala won the state of Maine, and she won it by not the margins that you would typically see when there was a clear difference between what Donald Trump was saying and what Kamala was saying, he won. Donald Trump won this specific district where there is a significant population of rural voters and farmers. So this is how the news in Maine explained this situation.
The Department of Agriculture has angered those who work on small farms across the state.
Political reporter Kate McCusker heard from Maine's farmers who gathered to protest in Augusta today.
With some arriving on tractors and one even carrying a bucket of manure, today Maine farmers gathering to protest recent cuts by the Trump administration. Several farmers from across the state spoke out against recent cuts by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to school lunch programs and food banks. They say federal funding is crucial for small farmers to sustain their business. Some say they've already invested money that the federal government had promised to reimburse them for, or have signed contracts to support them. And overall, they say the uncertainty and confusion is hurting the industry.
This is not a partisan issue for me. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a Mainer who thinks we need farms and farmers to feed people in our state.
So Maine farmers, help me to do the math here. 1 + 1 = 2. The sky is what color? Blue. If someone tells you who they are, it's best you believe them.
Yeah, and once again, this is partly, and we got to be real about it, voting against your own interest. The caption on this said, "You voted for this, suck it up." What did he say in his, speeches for getting elected? What he was going to focus on, what he was going to do that convinced you to say, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. He has my best interest at heart. When to be now mad or concerned and confused about what's happening is almost like I'm saying, you didn't know that he was going to implement these policies, or did you not think that these policies was going to affect you? And now that they're affecting you negatively, everybody is mad and confused. Like, what the hell is he doing? This is why I say a lot of, when you say make America great again, what does that mean to individuals? Because obviously they were believing or thinking something else. Let's continue.
Donald Trump said that these were the things that he was going to do, and he did them. He talked about tariffs, and he talked about cutting the Department of Agriculture. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. This is your around and find out moment. Just enjoy it. Take it like a man or woman. You voted for this. This is exactly what you deserve.
The University of Arkansas did a recent study because farmers are filing for Chapter 12 bankruptcy at an alarming rate. There's a lot of things that are driving that. And before you say, I told you so, they all voted for it, it's going to hurt us too. So, just so you can own the red hats isn't necessarily the greatest way to look at this, because it's going to hurt us, and it's going to hurt a lot of people that really cannot afford to have it hurt them. So here's what's going on in the farm world and why they're filing bankruptcy. And this is not just small independent, this is moderate, this is larger farms. The cost to manufacture the items or grow the goods is gone up. So seeds, fertilizers, stakes, workers is all increasing. And the workers, there's a lack of them because of the indiscriminate raids that have been going on. But it's not just the farm workers, it's also the packaging facilities. So all of those things that the farmer grows goes to packaging facilities to end up in our grocery store. And they've been raiding both farms and those facilities. So we have a downturn of employees to process things.
Now, can't we find other people who are in need of jobs to work at those places? Black people aren't the only ones out there. Are there other people who are out of work, need jobs? Can't they be hired to? We don't have enough legal citizens in this country to work those jobs. That's just a question I'm asking. Please, if y'all can answer that for me, please answer it in the comments. Do we have enough legal people in this country to work those jobs, who are willing to do their jobs? Or is it they're not paying enough for the jobs? Is it a fact of them not being able to get people to work those jobs because they don't pay enough, or they're not offering enough? Or is it the fact that they just have a lot of people who just don't want to do those jobs, no matter how much they're paying? What is it? Because it can't be the fact that, illegal immigrants were the only ones who were willing to do these jobs, or is that the case? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's continue.
It's a problem. The secondary offset is that every season they take out loans to finance the current season. And the loans are between 7 and 9% interest, which is direct impact because of inflation is why those loans are higher. But also the CFPB has been repealed, and therefore, you don't have bank regulations as much before as the consumer protection situation. Then the marketplace, the commodities. So when you finish making your farming items, the price to sell them is low. So they're not recouping their funds at the end of the season. And that is a problem because they're not being able to pay off the loans. All of those are going to lead to one or two things. We're going to have a shortage because there's going to be less of them out there producing for us. And two, the costs are going to go up because of all of the items that I just listed. So this is a direct impact of who we currently have in office and a lot of the policies he's put in place. But it is going to hurt us at the grocery store, and that's the bigger problem.
And Lord knows we don't need food to go up anymore. We don't need food prices to go up anymore. But what is the solution to all of this? What is this something that's temporarily happening because of all of the changes, or is this going to get better? Is it going to get better in the future once things settle, or is this going to lead to more problems in the future? I want to know what's your thoughts on all of this. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. Chime in, keep the conversation going, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.